Hi everybody, welcome to Wild Earth this morning. My name's Tara, Sebastian's joining me on camera, and Craig is back in final control, and we've just heard lions. And I know some of you saw lions crossing over the dam wall this morning. So we want to try and catch up with them, and it looks like it could be the Majingi lions, so they can continue to walk. So we're going to jump aboard very quickly, and I'll fill you in as we go. Let's get going. Now when we heard the lions, it sounded like it was somewhere west of the camp. We thought possibly around Galego Shortcut or Zoe's Road, but I'm not getting any tracks, which is really bizarre. So unless they've crossed and they've carried on going down the middle, or even Fitterman's cut line, but down the middle of Quarantine, usually they walk straight along Voyatella access and there's no tracks there. Even if there's been a few cars, you normally see tracks, so they've done something very funny. And I'd love to actually have them roaring again, but I don't know if we're going to be that lucky. So we're going to try and see if we can find tracks of where it was they went to. Apparently they crossed over the wall sometime around 4:45, 5 o'clock. Down Zoe's Road, we'll come back along Fitterman's cut line, come back onto Quarantine area, but it didn't sound like it was around Quarantine. Could have been just the way the wind was blowing. But these boys walk, and they carry on walking. It's very bizarre. I'm not picking up any tracks whatsoever of them. Right there. Well, we'll slowly make our way back to the dam wall anyway and see if we can pick up the tracks. Egyptian goose and Luri are all talking at the dam. This is very odd. Very odd.
Just north of Peter Plain Car.
Morning, Hornbills. Okay, well we'll be coming in from the inside of Quarantine, so we'll be able to check the Quarantine area. Still nothing. Good morning. I've just heard the Ngala collaring somewhere to the west. I'm on Zoe's Road at the moment in Luton Consos. Apparently they crossed over the dam wall about 4:45, 5 o'clock last night. I've got known consoles from them at all on Zoe, so I'm going to come along Filament's Cook line and just see if they've crossed through there. Apparently there's quite a commotion down at the dam though, Gary Dam.
Okay, copy that. Yeah, we're going to try. We'll tell us to the boat again.
Copy that, yeah, I only did Voyatella access towards Zoe's. But there's Lutu here and there's Lutu on Voyatella access up until then. Sorry, I didn't catch that, Craig. Oh, he might be calling. Okay, Craig said he could hear the lines calling. Standing by?
What's the Ngala here?
They are on quarantine. Copy that. Whereabouts on quarantine?
No, you have to come and find me. Heading down between Ingaka and News towards the Garden Tower.
Copy that. Thanks, Texas. How weird. Okay, well they are on quarantine. There we go. So I was saying, it's so weird. We're just not getting any tracks here. Very, very odd. Yeah, that's. We all three of us said no, it's that direction. How funny. Some people saying they crossed about 20 minutes ago now. Okay. I told her, I was actually thinking I should go check quarantine, but then these guys walk. No, then they're probably got further already. We were convinced. We were absolutely convinced they were in the west. Went on the wrong side of quarantine, so I actually checked down on the western side. Oh well. Try this one again. Copy that, text, and I'll be with you in sleeping on Zimbambili. Maybe it's those young boys, so hopefully we'll get a chance to see the beautiful sun rising. But I daren't stop just in case they do wander off into the bush. Just goes to show sometimes you can't get a good direction of where the animal's calling from. I wonder if maybe where we were listening from, maybe, I don't know, there was something funny with the acoustics where we were. I'll hang my head and show you. I also want to try and get to them before the sun really climbs high. Oh wow, look at that. I'm sorry, that is beautiful. That is stunning. Look at that. Sure. So you just got to take a moment. They might go and decide to go and sleep somewhere, especially if they've been active all night. So I'd like to try and get them before they go into a bush and lie down. They might not. It stays cool, but there's no clouds in the sky this morning. So it should warm up fairly quickly. I did about a third of this side. No tracks this side. Thought, well, there must have been a lot of traffic there. See, even that was it, because I saw the impala here, and they all were flicking their tails. I thought, well, okay, the impala are there, and they're not calling, the baboons weren't calling. I knew the baboons were back. And you see, they all look pretty relaxed here. Even after lions calling, and even those ones up there look very funny. Just goes to show, doesn't always mean if there is antelope around that there's no cats around. I'm on that little two-track between Yuri's and Ingaskaya now. Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, they're heading south along Clinton Road towards West Express.
Where's that? Heading south now. see the vehicle. Morning. Oh, they just got in. Oh, there they are. Sorry? Are you going to go in?
Yeah, I'll go around that time.
Okay. Oh, we'll see if we can go through here then. Yeah, just in front of us. There's a hippo there. They're watching something there. It is the Majingis. There's one there, there's another one there. Morning. There's another one just in there. And there's the other one. So there's three. I think we can probably try and get in a little bit further down. Here it comes. See if we can try and get a decent look at them. Actually, I don't think I've seen Mel with the smudge on his nose, and all three of them, they don't look like they have. One of them doesn't look like he has a very black mane like the other one did. Maybe these aren't the Majingis then. Yeah, he's going to come out into the open here. Come on, you're losing your brothers. There you go. Let's see if we can catch up with them again. Something caught their attention in there. See if we can go in. There's another little spot where we might be able to go in if they don't come back out into the road.
get to your side.
One coming towards you, they just some of become public towards that north front. Looks like they might come out there.
You know, you're coming to the east, but don't you?
One is coming slowly towards you, but
The text, and does it look like they're going towards Twin Dams again or away?
so far they're still inside the jungle, but it looks like okay. Heading now to the north towards central. They come from way on, just from a bit more forth. They might come out on that big north front there. They're coming all the way towards you.
Okay. Looks like they're not too sure exactly
Down
what to do.
again, the dog is still east.
So we're going to be, we can try and get a visual here, but otherwise I think we might have to try and go around onto Central by the sounds of it. So, yeah, it's just a little bit too difficult to get in here. So the plan was to go in and come up from the south. They've, yeah, he's saying that they're going that side already. Morning. Does it look like they're going over to Central? Oh, so it looks like they're going through to Central. Okay. We'll see if we can maybe go in here then. Oh. Big log.
Low van Central just west of the platform.
Did you get a visual from here from?
No, negative, Tara. Looks like the city is heading more south. I hear some Franklin more south.
Right there.
Yeah, morning, Bob. Morning, no problem. Right, which road do you think is going to be the base to relocate there?
Yeah, I think
This is
they
getting
will be
quite
coming out
open
my
here now.
village. What is yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm on 10-4 at the moment, but I'll stand by here by this logs until one of the stations moves up, and then I'll make my way next loading.
Okay, I'm hearing the Franklins calling straight ahead of us.
No more details now. Let's locate again.
Okay, go there.
Okay, we're just north of that little 2-track. Well, the Franklin's calling, which means they have come through here. That little 2-track that I was going to try and take. The Texans there now. They're right, there's their. Thanks, Karen. Okay, apparently these could be the Matimba lines. Apparently one's got the scar on his right back. Can't get through here. This could be where they went. It's beautiful up here, hey? Standing by?
Have you got any visuals from where you are?
Lutu, I'm right in the drainage line, and Lutu visual at the moment.
I can hear you, I'm not too far from you, but also they're not coming out this side. I'll go quickly to go turn around and get crossing, then check out Vulture's. I'm sure they might cross to the east.
Copy that. Yeah, there's been a lot of Franklins calling just to the east of where I am. But as I say, no visual. We had a nice viewpoint just now. Lutu visual. Okay, well, I'm not too far away from that 2-track. I think the guys are going to try and see if they can pick them up on Vulture's Nest. Switch off, just having a listen. I'm just wondering if they're going to pop out onto Twin Downs Road again, or, as he says, Vulture's Nest. It is absolutely beautiful in this drainage line though. Amazing. Never thought it was possible to do what we've just done.
I'm leaving this and go on Central Road, right next to the cut line. I'm going to leave it open up.
And it's not possible to do this in the summertime, but now it's all dried out. It's possible. There's a few very nice plants here. There's a little two-track. This was the one I was originally going to try and come down. That's why we drove further on. Further over here. I've been over here before, so I'm sure there is a way back across. We might have to go in and move that huge log. Maybe it was here that I actually came in and out. I think it was. Unless they went in and came out again, and those Franklins just saw them going on. Because we're going to have a problem with the wheels going over that. That's what I'm going to try and do. I've got to move it out of the way. You might have to help me there.
Yeah. I look, I will be driving back again.
Drive over it. Efron, do you have visual? Confirm, do you have visual?
Negative.
Yeah, I'm still here in the drainage line. I don't have any visual. Okay, well, let's hope that we can go over it.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's a lot of trees here.
try and get another wheel over it. Come on, Gunda, you can do it. Woo! Okay. Check the road, just see if they have come back out onto the road. Standing by different points. So once we got into the drainage line, I didn't get any visual at all. Thought I heard something. Texan, come in. Whereabouts are you standing by?
I'm just sitting central junction with the window flat and yeah.
Okay, copy. I'm out of the drainage line now. I'm on Twin Dams Road. I'll keep a check on this side.
Okay, yeah, because last I saw them, that whole section is on to east, towards that place.
Copy that. Yeah, the only time I did hear the Franklins calling was where you said, a little bit north of where you were, south from where I was.
So there might be still somewhere in the block.
Yeah, I think that could be possible. Geese are calling back at the dam. So everyone, everyone is... Sorry, confirm, come along onto Vulture's Nest by that torchwood.
Yeah, Sam was also curious there. So maybe something comes out there. Might give an alarm call.
Okay, copy. Okay, oh, Texan's saying we should go along to Vulture's Nest because he seems pretty certain they're going to come out that side. Something's going on down at the dam. You can hear the Egyptian geese calling. I wonder if they would have been sneaky enough to go back into the drainage line and go back towards Gary Dam. Maybe someone can check for us. Maybe if the zoomies are watching. I don't know, the day I don't check quarantine properly. It always happens. Always happens. Every time we don't check quarantine, something's there. If the goose is calling, I also don't want to run the risk if they do pop out there that we miss something. Well, I hope you enjoyed the off-roading anyway. Always fun to go off-roading. So it's beautiful in there. And I never thought it was actually possible to be able to get all the way that side, because the last time I was in there, it was very green and very wet, so we weren't really able to go too far in there. Amber, good morning to you. Wanting to know if the lions that are spotted, are they new to the area? I think if Karen, if there's an email from Karen, I think she said, is it from the Manuletti, these males? She said where they might be from. Because I thought they might be the Majingis. They said there were 4 males, and the Majingi lions are 4 males. But just looking at the two I had a fairly good look at, they didn't look like the two Majingi lions. One did, but the other two didn't. And also asking if they've been roaring to claim the territory. But if this is the Matimbas, I think that's what Karen said they were called, golden maned lions. If it was them, there's some yard here. Where's the lions, boys? Where's the lions? Then they could be new to the area. It could be they have been in the area, but they've just passed through on a couple of occasions. But the Majingi lions have been sort of controlling this area, but it's quite a large area. And now, unfortunately, the Gajima males are no longer with us. They used to patrol in the north, and they would come down as far as here. So that territory is technically open. So you can't see them anymore. So it could be that they're looking to take over this territory, and calling might just be challenging the Majingi lions, trying to state a claim, and then they could be why they were calling. Or maybe they're actually not four. Maybe they're not a coalition of four. Maybe they're a coalition of six or something like that. I don't know if this is the coalition that has a male that has a... He's got a cut. Apparently he looks a bit like the Joker. He's got a cut down his face. And that could be part of the same coalition, in which case it could be trying to relocate each other. Popped out here by the looks of things. Unless we just go back in and drive up the other way and just see if there is any more sign of them. There's the drainage line. Especially as the sun starts climbing higher, they should start to settle down. Sorry, that was cutting out a lot. Get that question, cutting out quite a bit. Ah, okay, that's interesting. Apparently, thanks Jean, apparently the lion had no tip on the tail, so that's definitely, well, unless the Majingi lion has lost his fairly recently, but as I say, the two that I saw, there was one that I thought it was, but the other two didn't look like the Majingi lions, so I think they are this other coalition. No, if everybody's still around, I think they might have given up. If anybody would like to ask any questions, then send your questions through to questions@wildersafari.tv. Well, I try and relocate these beautiful big males. I think, looking at them, they're probably not more than a year behind the Majingis. And they look big and in good condition. This is where Texan said that they might come out. I think that they should have come out by now if they were going to pop out somewhere. Apparently, the eldest of the Matimbas is Stumstuck. He's missing a tail. He's the Induna. He's the chief. So I think it is getting more and more likely that that's who they are. So yeah, there's some kudu here. Still no alarm call. She's running actually in there. Look at skittish lady. A few more in here.
Again. Jumper, I was just walking inside where the tracks are walking straight to the south along the donga.
Texan's gone in again.
Okay, copy. Yeah, I was inside also.
And the guys have gone back in.
Driving out here to the casino. I'm right here. What's his next road? I'll get to take a spaghetti junction.
Okay, good. I'll go around again on them. So yeah, the tracks going straight toward the donga to the south.
Okay, copy.
Texan, whereabouts in the donga was that from? From where we were?
Yeah, kind of from where you drive in, they come straight into that small park, straight to the south. Just where you are driving, a little more to the eastern side of that, but yeah, straight to the south.
Copy, that must have been the Franklins calling then at that stage. That's saying that they did go straight south. So basically where we had the Franklins, that's where he's found the tracks, so we were on the right lines. Lions. Just, what we did? Hi T. Good morning. Are Karuda's cubs safe from these lions? Not really. If the lions get hold of them, they probably would kill them. Although, having said that, they may just leave them. Who knows? Anything is possible. But the saving grace is that the cubs are small. They're able to climb very thin trees, very tall thin trees. So they are able to get away, and they know what danger is now. And I'm sure this won't be the first time lion, and I think actually the Majingi guys were pretty close to them a little while back. So as long as they keep their wits about them and they can sense that these boys are around, and if they are still in the same area, then there's every possibility that they can escape from them. Because if they go up into a very thin tree, lions are able to climb trees, but not very thin trees. I mean, lion, you're talking about the cubs at the moment are probably around 20, 25 kilos, something like that. whereas these big boys who we've just seen are probably more likely around 220, 240 kilos, so a huge difference. There's no way those thin trees can support their weight. No way. Hi, Dawn. Dawn wanting to know how successful and how often are lions, and do lions hunt hippo? She saw the hippo yesterday with the scratches on its back. So how often do they hunt? Hippo are very difficult prey. I mean, they've got very thick skin, so they won't really go and hunt hippo that often. If there's not too much around, that's when they might hunt a hippo.
I'm heading down south, sorry. I was trying from, okay. How far did you go on St. James Road to the north? All the way from Gary Dam. I'm heading down south. I'm maybe gonna slowly make my way to Twin Dams itself. Okay, could it if you check that side, maybe I can just go around again on the south side. Okay, go ahead. So the tracks, just walk in there and follow the tracks. I'm going straight south. Along the riverbed there. Okay, copy.
Texan, actually in the riverbed at the moment. I'm coming in from Spaghetti Junction. I'll see if I can carry on up.
Okay, copy that, thanks. I'll try maybe in Yala south. This is much. Come on. Okay. Hello. Where are you? Yeah, yellow pen. Okay, copy that, thanks. Just want to try one more loop on the south.
But that little hippo, I think it's probably around.
Can I come and join?
I can wait.
Can I confirm who is this gorilla?
Who's identified?
Okay, go ahead. Job. Well, good morning. Other man, any updates? Nothing. It was about these four Madura and Gala, but they went
Let's keep going up a little bit more. Apparently Karula's boy is just around here. Yeah.
Telephone road. Okay. You guys haven't had anything anywhere on local stores has been shut down for the last 2 days? Nothing.
We'll see if we can try and have a quick look, but I just want to carry on in here for a little bit. Oh, they say there was 5 there. You guys saw 5.
So you said the one's going to settle, so the other 4, those 4 we saw the other day, those 4 with the 4 days.
Lots of chit chat on the radio. Okay, but it does sound like it's Karula's son. There's 2 vehicles there with him already. We'll see if we can go and have a...
Jonathan.
No, must be Tara.
Ephraim, come in. Yeah, Ephraim, it is me, just north of you. When there's a gap, I'd like to also come into that Linguela. Yeah, copy. I'll wait because I think it's still going to be a 2-station lock at this stage. I'll go on standby.
Yeah, the way Father G's bulletin was interstate body, now it's outside body. Yeah, the munitions from these, we are there, you can get 3 more of them. Then I get 2 more of them.
So yeah, as I was saying, so there was just the radio for a little bit, but hippos, so not normal prey, but it is possible for them to try. But this little hippo, I think, is probably around 3 or 4 years old. Probably closer to 3 than 4. It's something like that. It's not a very big hippo. So it is possible that the lions just saw the opportunity, it was out on land, maybe away from adults, and they just went for it. Decided that they were going to have a try for a hippo and didn't succeed, so hippo won the day. Oh, it'd be so nice if these lions were just lying in the riverbed now. Who was asking about the... Joan! Morning, Joan. Hope you're well. Joan wanting to know, do the riverbeds fill up in the summertime? Generally they do. Depends on how much rain has fallen. If you have lots of rain over a very short period of time, these rivers flow very fast indeed. Switch off here. There's no tracks coming down here yet. It was a little boy, he's a little bit skittish.
No more vision.
I don't have vision of that little boy anymore.
Not looking for.
Ephraim, confirm for me, is it on Chelapan Road or just at Chelapan that little Mel was?
Yeah, we were actually just over Chelapan, west of the Lera.
Okay, copy. It's getting very skittish. See if we can find him. Too far away from where those tracks came south, so that's why I'm just thinking. I'm not seeing any tracks here. Just need to go up a little bit further in here. Just keeping an ear to the radio, see if we can try and get into view those cubs at some stage. So they've lost the visual on the little male. Apparently a second vehicle came in and he disappeared. At least we know. At least we know they'll sit around. Hi Diane. Good morning to you. Wanting to know what their weight, an average male lion is, and do the females stay with the lions? And it really just depends on how many prides are in the area and how many coalitions. Females make up the prides, males make up the coalitions. So if there's only one coalition in the area and they don't really need to defend the territory too much, then you will find the males may stay with a certain female pride, maybe if there's only one pride in the area especially. Like the Kajimas would spend a lot of time with the Kajima females. You'll be able to do limbo there.
You think what is the English is rather slim down every day?
Sir, they kill mother with cubs.
No. Must be less equal.
Yeah, but life black.
I'll take a minute.
This one, that's the other second schedule with the big bob, what's called bob.
Can you just check the house for me there, sir?
I'll take a minute.
Travis, can we make it a 3-vehicle locker or not?
Yeah, for that day, Yuri was saying, for your trailer, it'll be 3 more bars.
Oh, okay.
Okay, copy, excellent. Can we come and join you there, thanks.
Copy that, didn't know that, thanks Ephraim. If I can still be on a standby, that would be cool.
I think you can pulling. I'm not getting because we forgot the ink already.
Okay, copy. Just confirm for me, just north of Chelapan still.
From Chelapan, just heading towards Ruga's Nest. You know there was a big whipping board in there. I think it's right there.
Okay, copy, thanks. How deep are those holes there? How deep are the holes there? I want to put this back around up there.
Yeah, I'm not planning to pull out those other ink. We pull out the other one. Okay. Yeah, I think because you and I would like to move it now, right?
Okay. Ah. Elephants have managed to put a hole in a very awkward place. We'll have to. Let's see if we can carry on up here, because it may just be those lines pop out around here. But we're going to go and see if we can have a look at those Matimbas now. Baby leopards. Of gorillas. Apparently there's space for us now. So those lines must be somewhere between here and there. Sorry, Ephraim, are you looking for me?
No, I'm coming over.
Just keep a lookout, Seb, just over in, because you've got the height advantage. Just keep looking out that side. Funny's happened with the cubs. I don't know if the little girl is basically where she was yesterday and the little boy is somewhere down towards Chelapan. sounds like the house split up, but I couldn't quite hear exactly what was going on. Hopefully we'll find out now. We'll try and come back in here in a little bit and have another look around, because it could be that those lions just come out into the open, lie down in the sand and just enjoy the warmth of the sun. But basically we're south of where those tracks were. So unless they've gone or stayed, could have even been that they stayed not too far from where those tracks were. There's nothing coming down that riverbed. Keep a really good lookout and listen out for any barking, and it's actually just helped knowing exactly where those animals are. So there's some Nyala males down here, and if they start barking, then at least we know basically where, or roughly where they were. Same with the kudu on the other side. But otherwise we might have to wait until this evening to try and catch up with them again. Evidently there were 5 males. The big male, the Induna of the group, has part of his tail missing, the tip of his tail missing. You see something disappearing here? I just saw a little tail. Almost like it was the white tip of a leopard tail. Oh, sorry, yes, the average weight of a male lion. So it does depend on what's happening in the area. So one of the Majingi lions seems to favour staying with the sticks here in this area. But the other Majingis tend to carry on walking. But the average weight is probably about 240 for a big male. You can get some males. Copy, thanks Jock. That's the Matimba close to Chelapan, or on Chelapan Road?
This is one closer to Chelapan. If you come on Wheeler Nest, just south of the junction with Chelapan Road, there's still standing on that ring.
Copy that, thank you. If that was a little male, because apparently they lost visual of him somewhere around here. I think he must have been here, so I'm wondering if that was him.
The guy this morning.
That's a negative, I've not been there. Sorry Jack, I just want to confirm, is she basically where she was last night? Oh, okay, so that is, okay. So the way he was talking was here. Something got up your nose, sir? Okay. So I think that's what happened. I think the little male was back there. I think I just saw his tail. But apparently the little female is on the same termite mound where she was last night. I think we are talking about the same spot. This was the termite mound she was on. I'm just wondering whether it's that one that she went to. There she is. So she is on a different termite mound. You're saying she's close to Chelapan. No, she's not. So we'll try and go back. That drainage line. You can see she's got a beautiful big tree to hide in if there's any problems.
Okay, copy. I know. I'll go see if I can, because I'm in Wellington at the moment. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you can see some pilot there too. Just the pilot there.
Okay, copy. Thanks for that.
Can you see us through the bushes here?
Yeah.
Just there. Is there a stick in the way or anything?
No, that's fine.
Is that okay there?
Tara.
Standing by?
Did you copy that message?
Negative?
Apparently, Mafula crossed just west of the Palm Road. He crossed into Western Gowrie. Some of the staff members saw him crossing in, so I'm going to make my way there and see if I can do it. Okay.
Copy that, thank you. Yeah, if you can keep us updated, we've just pulled into the Matimba lock.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, stations also couldn't find any more Ngalo consoles in the drainage line. I went in from Spaghetti Junction and came out by that 2-track on Twin Downs Road. Lutu there that I could find. It's quite interesting the fact that they are quite a distance from each other. Say the little male they saw down towards Chelapan, which is where we were, and this little female is on the junction basically with Chelapan Road and Weaver's Nest. She's quite a distance, and she keeps doing this. She keeps wandering quite far, and I think she wanders further from where Karula has them each time. Or she leaves them each time, and she seems to be a little bit more independent than her brother. I'm wondering maybe if we can go a little bit further around the corner. I'm wondering if there's going to be a nice view there. Let's see if we can go around without disturbing her. normal for the cubs to be so far away from each other. Well, from what I understand, I think Mishu and Induna stay close together quite a lot. Even when I first arrived, they were actually spending quite a bit of time together still. So it could just be that it's just different personalities. I mean, this little female, she's quite incredible in the fact that she just seems to be so independent. It's taking Karula much longer to relocate her. There we go. Let's have a better view of her. You see it past this tree here. No, I can't go more. No? Really? Okay, let me go a bit further back and try and go. You can't see it through there. Oh. Or actually, we can. There we go. It's amazing how much that height difference makes. Because I can have a clear view of her, but obviously the branches were just a little bit too high. She is beautiful. She does remind us of Karula. I mean, I know Mark was saying yesterday, but she really does seem to have her temperament. And maybe Karula was also like this at her age. Because I think Karula actually left safari pretty early. And she had her first litter when she was only 2.5 years old, which is possible. But if you look at her daughters, they've only had their first litter once they're 4. So it just goes to show that there can be quite a big difference between leopards and their personalities. And even now, the little male is a little bit more skittish, and I'm thinking he's probably going to be a little bit more like the ghost, Whitecloth's son. He tends to run away when there's vehicles around, but she seems to be quite bold, and she doesn't seem to worry about the vehicles too much. But certainly when Karula's around, the little male's a lot more adventurous, and he has been coming up to the vehicles before, but it could be that he's had some bad experiences, and maybe that's what's making him a little bit more skittish than she is. It is. It's very interesting seeing the difference between the personalities and the differences between even Induna and Mishu. I'm not sure about Saseka and Tingana, whether they spent more time together. But even the other day, when Karula was trying to relocate both of them, the little male responded very, very quickly. And it took Karula a good 10 minutes for the little female to respond. Hi Jojo! Wanting to know if something happened to Karula, could the cubs survive? And they are probably around 8.5 months old now. And I don't know, I think personality wise I wouldn't be surprised if this little female could survive, but then again we haven't really seen them catching anything, but just her personality, she seems to be the one to go for things. I mean, we've seen her looking at birds and trying to climb trees, but then again yesterday we had the male climbing a tree after squirrels, so the hunting instinct is there. I doubt they won't be big enough to really pull down an impala at this stage. Maybe a dake or a steenbok. But even then, I think they're probably just a little bit too small for that, but it's possible. She's listening to something. I can hear something moving in the grass. And we actually have seen the little male running after, when we saw them a couple of days ago. The little male was actually chasing after something. So they are capable of hunting small things at the moment, and or even insects they'll eat, anything they can get their claws into at this stage. I'm sure Karula's given them lessons, and even just the playing and everything like that will help to hone those skills. And when Karula does have a carcass, you'll see that they actually put their claws around the neck and they try and bite the neck, and they're learning constantly. What are you seeing, little one? There is something. Could be a little steenbok or something. You see it?
No. Looking at direction might be a mom or brother. She's not scared at all.
Oh, she doesn't?
She saw what it is and she's going for it, going towards it. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Next road, heading towards Central.
See if I can actually move.
Position there.
She's sitting up, so I don't think she's something for her to. Oh, it's a giraffe.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can move around. It is a giraffe. That's what she's watching. I don't think the giraffe's seen her as well. This is exactly what I mean. She's not scared. And these giraffes are pretty big. And yet she was actually coming over to see them. I don't know if we're going to be able to see the giraffe from here. I might be able to see some of the giraffe. Everyone come in. Everyone come in. Take some go. Just at the junction, Weaver's Nest Road and Chelapan Road. Copy, will do. What was on Weaver's Nest Road? I just heard something was on Weaver's Nest Road. I was just wondering what it was. That's affirmative. I'm with her now.
On junction with Chalapan Road, there's a big board tree on top of Termite, just lying there, right close to Road.
Yeah, I've got her. I'm in the lock now, and there's some Dlamiti. I just thought there was something coming along Weaver's Nest Road, but I must have just misheard. Did you copy about Mvula earlier? Mvula. Okay, copy. bit of cross communication going on there. I thought something was coming down the road. I thought it might have been the lions that popped out. I don't think it was that. But I think one of the other guys was talking about Mvula crossing over here from Shabam Road. But it sounds like he wasn't able to relocate. Just in case you missed that a little bit earlier on. It's funny, these giraffes are watching her. They can obviously see her. They've got exceptionally good eyesight. I'm just trying to see if there's one that we can see, because they're quite far back into the bush there. Good morning to you, Davina. Wanting to know when will Karula start taking the cubs with her. And she does, she will move the cubs, so she will walk with them to different areas. And I think sometimes she does actually, especially when they were a bit younger, she seems to take them closer to where she was hunting. And I wonder if they were able to actually observe what she was doing from where she was leaving them. But even though there's a lot of play, and I have even heard that sometimes leopards will bring small things back for the cubs to practice on. I've not heard it before until someone was asking and I wasn't too sure, and I've never seen it and never heard of it. But evidently sometimes they do bring things back to practice on, but it's not the norm, I don't think, like it is with the cheetah. And leopards do tend to have this ability. It's a hunting ability that really doesn't need too much in the way of teaching. It's a very natural ability. But having said that, I'm sure she must, or they must observe her occasionally. Even though it's thought that they don't really take them with. But I remember seeing Mishu with her, and he was actually catching a scrub hare, and she kind of just looked on as he was doing it. But again, it was when they were walking. And I'm sure if she actually does have an opportunity and they're with her, I'm sure they'll watch her in that opportunity. But to actually take them with when she's going on a hunt doesn't really happen in leopards as it does with lion and cheetah. I suppose lion, they do have to learn how to hunt as part of a team. Cheetah, they have to learn how to hunt with their speed, and it's tripping the back legs up, and it's a whole different technique to pouncing on something and killing it. But it's all the stalking, and as I say, the stalking, they practice on mum, and they practice on the small animals that they're catching, but it's more the antelope I think they need to have the practice on. As I say, that's where the carcasses will come in handy. Yeah. I want to try and see if we can have a look at those giraffes. Termite man, we had a beautiful sight of her. She's a little bit hidden, so let's go and see if we can see the giraffe. So I can see one's coming out to the road. There we go. That popped out onto the road. Sorry, I didn't quite copy all that. You never know, wee Pat. Wondering if little girl thinks that Karula's on a kill and she wants to try and get there first. But I think they pretty much will know how it works now. The fact that Karula will come and collect them when she does have something big. But I think she's more inquisitive. I think No, I think she just seems to travel much further afield. Because if Karula comes back now, I think she will go to Chelapan and start calling. Instead of coming to here and start calling, because that's where she left them. And if she doesn't get a response, she'll start calling louder and louder, and that's exactly what was happening the other day. She was very soft to begin with, but then she was getting a little bit louder. I'm waiting for that response. And if you remember, there was a couple of times just before the boys started leaving that she was calling extremely loud. It's kind of cool. It's my best leopard impression. But it does get very, very loud, very audible, because the cubs do start to wander further and further afield. And even up to 1.5 years old, she'll still leave the cubs. And I think really it gets to that stage where it's actually the cubs that stop responding to her. And I think we actually saw that day where the cubs didn't respond to her, Mishun and Duna. And I think they were probably just under 2 years old, I think it was. They were certainly over 1.5 years old. And they just weren't responding. She called for 3 hours, and we saw that, and they just didn't respond. So they'd obviously gone farther afield. They didn't respond to her. Maybe they had their own kill, so they didn't need to respond to her. But I think that was the stage that we stopped seeing her with them after that. And I think that actually was probably the day that they became independent. And I think it's more to do with the cubs than anything. It's when they feel comfortable to leave. And as I say, I think this little female is going to be leaving a lot sooner than the little male. This giraffe continued into the bush. Something else now. What you seeing, giraffe? I do want to try and have another look in the drainage line though. Let's see if we do have some luck. And let's go and maybe check out Treehouse Dam, because apparently Mvula came east. And while we're here, stations leaving One Matimba on the junction Chelapan Road, Weaver's Nest Road, open lock. It would be wonderful to see Mvula. He's a huge male leopard. Go again. We're getting a bit of breakup. I couldn't quite hear who was saying. It's apparently Induna was catching guinea fowl at 10 months. And I'm sure these cubs also are going to be catching guinea fowl and things like that. I think Mishu actually made his first large kill when he was about 18 months. I think that was a Dacre. Not long after that there was an Impala, and I think that was possibly when they did become independent. So we'll do a bit of a loop around and we'll head back to the cubs, because I know people are going to want to spend as much time with the cubs as possible. But if it is possible to see Mvula, and we'll head back to Chelapan and just see if that little boy has come out. See if he's... Because when you give him space, he can be quite relaxed. I mean, we've had them running around the vehicle just themselves without Karula. As I say, he's becoming a little bit more and more skittish. it to be Mvula. I'm wondering if they said Karula and it was misheard, because Mvula tends to be on the eastern side. I've never known him to be on the western side here.
Clearing down and qualifying for Mvula.
Not getting anything there. And I wonder if she's actually picked that weeping Burby to go and sit under. That's quite a nice big tree. So if there is any danger, she can climb up it. Could be. She does tend to leave it to the last minute to climb up, but she does seem to have that survival instinct, just like her mother. And I think, who was it? Someone was sending, I think it was Saseka, I forget who it was, but someone was saying that she looks almost identical to Saseka. And she nearly does have the wow on her forehead. I was looking at the pictures last night, and it's almost the W on the right side has two little peaks in the middle rather than one. Hello, Magpie Shrike. Okay. No, I might be wrong about Mvula, but I don't remember hearing that he was that side. Giraffe again. Close to the road. So let's get you in the nice light. There we go. You've been watching the leopard cub. Yes, I've been watching the leopard cub. Now you're watching somebody else. And they'll often do this, they'll often chew the cud while they're watching something or waiting for something or just resting. You can tell it's chewing the cud. You see the cheeks puffed out when they're full of food that they've regurgitated. And hopefully you saw that movement in the neck. It's like a tennis ball size, it's amazing. You can see the cheeks are puffed out again and just chewing. Just like a cow does. The largest ruminant, 4-chambered stomach animal. Little black bird, fork-tailed drongo, flying in between its legs. Quite acrobatic. You might even be able to see the hairs on the chin. Has beautiful long eyelashes. Apparently giraffe are capable of jumping. Found that I was trying to find out about how long the stride was of a giraffe. I've got a specialist giraffe book, and it's basically everything you want to know. Just doesn't have the length of the stride in the book, but everything else. The biology, the behaviour, all that sort of thing of the giraffe is in there. And there's actually a picture of a giraffe jumping, and it actually shows you the angle that it holds the neck while it jumps. What I would like to try and do is find some giraffe tracks. Unfortunately, we've driven over the ones that were on the road. Let's see if we can find some and actually measure the distance between the two. But I'm pretty sure it'll come out the same body length, or the body length basically of the giraffe. And the stride is taken from where the foot leaves to where the foot returns to the ground. That's classed as a stride, apparently. So the body length's probably about 1.5 meters, 2 meters, depending on the age of the giraffe. And actually, some people have said or asked in the past, do giraffes smell? And I've said I've never been able to smell them. Evidently, these people that Dag, I think, D-A-G-G, is one of the main authors of the book, also said that they've never been able to smell them. Or they don't smell particularly strong, in that with all the chemicals that are on the skin and the fur, they should smell much stronger. And especially there's one chemical that actually makes feces smell, and that's present in the fur and on the skin. But as I say, I've worked with giraffe and I don't remember them being particularly smelly. Anybody interested in that book, I think I have actually put the ISBN number on my public Facebook page under discussions, and the other books that I use are there as well. So if you want to look at the titles and the ISBN numbers, then they are there. And I'm pretty sure the giraffe is there as well. So giraffe biology, behaviour and ecology, I think it's called. So it had everything but the stride. Even had, say, the rate that they walk, the amount of steps per second, and everything like that. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit close to little baby. She's still here. She's gone back to her brother. It's a negative Texan. Just had a look around Treehouse Dam, see if Mbula came through Lutu so far. Just back where we had Mafazi, Mampimpan, Looks like she has moved.
Okay, cool. And where about are you in Trail now?
Now I'm back where we left Mafazi Mampimpan, just having a look around there.
On top of that might that's the tree.
I copy that. I think that's possibly what she's done. I'm going to go back to Chelapan and just see if the little Madoda's there.
Okay, copy that. Thanks. Yeah, I'm going to go around throughout dam and check it out. Will come off that.
Oh, there she is. I can see. Just a little ear.
Good morning, sir.
That's a negative. Yeah, I've just relocated her. She is right on top of the Shadulu. Okay, well let's go and have a look around Chelapan. Can you see her?
Yeah.
Can you see her through there?
Oh no.
No. Literally just an ear I could see. So let's go and have a look. Ah, I can hear you loud and clear. Wonderful. Cheers. Just in case anybody's joining us and hasn't seen me yet. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a better view of her at the moment. She's pretty flat. Hi Joe, what was that? Are darker animals able to attract more something? And able to get to water faster? Oh, heat. Ah. And okay, I think I've got it now. So good morning, Joe. Sorry, just having a bit of trouble hearing the question coming through. But are darker animals able to attract more heat or increase the heat faster? And usually they do. Dark coloured animals tend to increase or have the temperature increased a lot quicker because they can sort of absorb that heat from the sun a lot quicker than lighter animals do, because obviously the light reflects heat. Dark colours tend to absorb the heat. And that was actually my study in university on giraffes and why they are dark and light. And my theory was that giraffes in hotter areas tend to have a lot more lighter area on their body so they can reflect the heat. And I actually managed to find quite an interesting paper, and it was actually on the cattle of the Maasai. And it depended on the season and the temperatures, but basically the lighter coloured animals, the lighter cows, could reflect heat, and they would actually do much better in the temperatures, or the years where the temperatures were incredibly hot, and they'd actually lose a lot of the dark animals. But where the temperatures were cooler, I think let's move on. So where the temperatures were a bit cooler, or where there was a lot more moisture during those years, then the dark animals actually did better. And what I found, and unfortunately it wasn't conclusive, I didn't have enough data, But what it was looking like was not so much the hot temperatures affecting the draft, it was the colder temperatures. And what I was finding is, or what I wanted to go on to look into, was that actually areas where the heat, or where the heat drops quite considerably, those areas where you can get lower temperatures, was dictating a lot more darker patches on the giraffe. That's what it seemed to be, but as I say, it was inconclusive. But I was going down the hot temperatures, but it seemed to be that it was actually the cooler temperatures that dictate the percentage of the light and the dark. Quite interesting though. But there are downsides to being light. And as I say, when there was a lot of moisture, the lighter animals didn't do as well as the darker animals. But the lighter areas seem to repel a lot of insects, whereas the dark animals dung quiz yet, have we? Need to find some dung we haven't done before. Going on, but I think it's all in the north now. So all I'm getting is see? Hi Roger. Good morning to you. Wanting to know what leopard did we last see? And that was the little girl cub from Kamula. And I think Davina was asking earlier, I got distracted, asking what's happening with the wild earth and what's happening with the live drives. And are you still going to be able to watch the live drives after this week? And we don't know what's happening with Wild Earth, but as far as Safari TV is concerned, we are closing. It is at the end of the week, the 31st. And after that, there's not going to be any more live drives. But we are trying not to think about it. So we want to enjoy at least the week that we have together, and the animals we love and enjoy seeing. Oh, hello. check around the dam. Is there any more movement around there? So no one's telling you anything because we don't know anything. Ah, I think this is where I used to cross, sort of here. That's why elephants came a drinking here. And if anybody wasn't able to join us first thing this morning, we had the lions calling. It sounded like it was west from where we were, so we went gallivanting down Zoe's Road. Couldn't find any tracks, thought it was a bit odd, and then one of the other guides said no, they've just found the lions between Inga's house and Yuri's house. Which is quite funny because it didn't sound like it was coming from there at all. So when we managed to catch up with them, they'd already come down into the drainage line here. The last sighting was further up in the drainage line. But we had Franklin's calling here. So I want to have a look around here now that, well, with everyone leaving, they might just be out in the open patch, snoozing in the sun. It may be that they're starting to move off into the shade now. I thought, well, let's give it a go. See if we can be lucky and find them. But we've been doing laps around and around and around and around and around. And we haven't been able to find where it is that they disappeared to. Texan said he had tracks going south. I didn't have any more tracks when we came up this way. I'll try and get over there if I can. I say I'm actually amazed at where we got to this morning, to be honest. Didn't know Gunda had it in her. Another look across that side, but it's very confusing because we heard the Franklins not too far from us there. As we were driving, we got onto quite a high point and we couldn't see anything. No movement, nothing. So unless they're somewhere in the thicket that side, I don't know exactly where those tracks were that Texan was talking about. I think the guys came in here again. A bit chilly this morning. They might have just gone for part of the sandy riverbed. Go and lie down and soak up the sun. 5 males, but they've disappeared. So I'm hanging my head in shame. Get a great view. Oh, it's funny because we've had days where the calling sounds like it comes from the quarantine. We've gone there and there's nothing. And sometimes if you try and preempt where an animal's going to be, take it there's a hole there then. Sometimes it actually works out. So we thought they were going to be the Majingis. The Majingis carry on walking. That's where they get the name from, marching the line, Majingi line. And when these boys walk, they walk. So you hear them calling at one side, and 5 or 10 minutes later they've already made it to the other side of the property. It's amazing the pace that these boys walk. But it turned out it was the demons, that's how you say it. 5 males. This is as far down as we got. We got to about there. Coming in from the south. Here. Elephants have been digging because they actually prefer the water that's seeped up through the sand, so it's nice and filtered. Elephants like filtered water. It's much cleaner. And this is what makes me think, if there's no tracks here, it might just be where those Franklins were calling. Ooh, that's a flat tyre waiting to happen there. Try again, just a little bit further up again, and then we'll continue heading through towards Gowrie Dam. Close to this tree here, hey? One of those francolins are calling. But we came down this side. We can get through this side. Let's have a quick look. Oh, okay. That's what I was looking for. Check see if there's a line behind me. Done quiz time. So if you want to join in, what you have to do is send through on the subject line what animal you think made this dung. I'll put that there so you can have a real good look at it. There we go. You can have a look at the colour there as well. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen out. Here, green pigeon. There's no other calling going on at the moment. We'll see if we can squeeze through here and just get to the other side. Otherwise, then we'll continue on a drive elsewhere and try the lines a little bit later on. So, who dung it? And what you need to do is keep a tally over the next few drives with me, and keep a tally of how many you get right, and then we can see what percentage you get right. So even if you only watch 3 drives, then you can make the percentage out of the 3 drives, or even just the 1 drive. Let's see if we can find another one for this morning's drive. But we'll see over the next week. The highest scores. And I may throw in the same dung. Just to keep you on your toes. Quite funny if the lines are just lying through here now, hey? Can happen. Oh, I'm hearing Franklin. What's going on? Really not a fun one to get caught up in. No, you can't come with. You're alright there.
There you go.
Sure. Jerry, Kathy, Susie, got it right. Well done. And Roger. Well done, Roger. Elizabeth, Linda, I'm impressed.
Go in this direction. Might be a dike there, but it could also be a lion. There was something walking there.
Something walking.
Towards that dead leadwood there on the right hand side.
This dead leadwood.
Yeah. There was a dike there, right? Something walking there.
So this is, I think this is basically where we had Franklin's calling. Andy, Rose and Joe. Well done. Down there? Can't get down there. Oops. Stenio, buffalo, no, hippo. And who said buffalo? I'm trying to see if we can get our way across there. Vivian, sorry, not buffalo or hippo. Well done, John. Amber, nope, not giraffe. Giraffe much smaller. 4-chambered stomach, tiny pellets. This is where we had that view and I was struggling to get through. Or was it? No, it's a bit further on actually. I need to get across. Seb said he saw something running that way, or going that way. No, it's quite a steep. Yeah, that's why I couldn't go in that side either. I'm trying to go a bit further along and try and come in this side. There's some trees there, so I can't get through there. Tell you what, should I just run in that side and see if anything flushes out? Maybe over there. If we can get across, we might just be able to get in there a little bit. Did it come through here? No, I think it was there. Maybe it did come through here. Yeah. Have another way in just in here. Maybe they are just here. It's just funny to me that there's no other tracks, and say the only other tracks were Texan said somewhere in here going south. But I don't know how far up. Oh, there's leopard tracks here. afternoon. Sarsaparilla! Well done, sarsaparilla! And Jim also getting it right. I can't fool you guys no more. Trace fan also getting it right. There's no fooling you. Shell and Binky, was that elephant? Nope, not elephant. Nice try though. So if it's not elephant, it's gotta be rhino. White rhino. Don't even... Is that Bev? Is that Bev? Bev from the USA. Okay. Ah, Kay's coming through with a question. Good morning, Kay, from the USA. The lions come close to camp. I think they came fairly close, but not as close as the leopards get, but they could have been close without us realising. Gonna have a look down Central Road. It's usually quite a good... So I don't even have to show you a million anymore. You can see from the inside of the dung, with it being a white rhino, it's just grass. The diet that they have, being grazers. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, Seb, are you willing to get off? Let's see. Not willing, able to get off. That was the word I was looking for. Willing and able. Just want to try and get around. Okay, so I said there's going to be some tracks involved. I found a track. Okay, so this is question number 2 for the day.
Calm down.
Okay, you're going to have to stand on this side, so you have the sun. Okay, so this is the first one here. have a look at. So if you're able to see, and if you're, yeah, it's going to be better. So you can just about see the paws here, and if you just hold that thought. Aha. I have a little measuring device. There you go. So about 4 centimeters long. If you can see, there's the back pad, toes. You should just be able to see at least these two. There's claws registering there. This one's also quite a nice one. If we can maybe pull back here, you can also see the pad here, the toes, and you might just be able to work out the claws there. So that's question number 1. What animal you think that is? And then here, this one's very, very interesting. Have a look at this. You can see this outline here. And it also starts here as well. So here and here, and then there's quite a big gap. So that's where it was, and that's where it ended up. But then it starts going into this. So this is question number 2, but this is also part of the same question. You might be able to see this one a little bit better. So there we go. Got the 2 marks here and 2 marks there. Now this particular animal, if you've ever looked at tracks across the world, wherever you live, you may have a relative of this particular animal. So that might give you a clue. And to be kind, this is when the animal's running. This is when the animal is sitting. That's why it looks so different. Quite interesting. So the animal was sitting here, possibly looking around, and then decided to run. So that's why you're getting these particular marks here. So here and here.
Show again, Tom.
So here and here. In fact, it was going that way. So it was running that way and probably sat there afterwards. But something funny happened. It could have even been 2 actually, because this one was sitting facing that way. So it was sitting with its head this way, and this one was running this way. So maybe this is 2 separate, but it's the same species. Or something funny happened and he turned around. So there you go, there's your 2 questions. So question number 1 and question number 2. See who gets them right at the end of the drive. Have a quick look at this. Okay, so well done, France. Getting rhino right. And who said black rhino? Linda. Linda, you get half a mark for rhino. I'm feeling generous. If you said black rhino, you can get half a mark. It's actually white rhino. At least you could see it wasn't an elephant. But black rhino would have twigs in it cut off at 45-degree angle and leaves. But this is actually a rhino toilet, and I didn't want to show you the rhino toilet earlier. Well, there wasn't one to show you, but I wanted to get it from that spot. But even if I'd have got it from here, I wouldn't have shown you the toilet because that helps to give it away. But rhinos use toilets to communicate, and this is more than likely the territorial holder because the dung has been broken apart as he scrapes his feet, so that the scent is on his feet, and as he walks, he marks his territory. That is the rhino midden. The reason why it's white rhino is because it is a grazer, and there was big bits of grass in there. Black rhino also use middens, and apparently black rhino will often use, if they're in the same area, or have been known to use white rhino middens and vice versa, but they don't recognise each other as rhinos. Apparently they don't really interact, so I've heard. I've never seen it myself. There was a report of a black rhino being in the west yesterday. Apparently it briefly crossed over into Western Gowrie around Triple M. But he was very skittish, and unfortunately we didn't get a chance to see it. I'd love to try and find some tracks. I was hoping maybe he might have made his way down here. Doesn't look like it. So white rhino was the answer. I'm very impressed. Many more people getting it right than when we first started the dung quizzes. Everyone's starting to see the difference between the elephant dung and the rhino dung. Elephant's also that rusty brown colour, whereas the white rhino is much darker in colour. Susie Cook, honey badger for track number 1 and giraffe for track number 2. Nope, that would be a very small giraffe for track number 2. That long. Ah, Randy getting it right. Well done, Randy. Track 2, right, is correct. Ah, that's where I needed to go. Amber saying hyena for number 1. No, a little bit too small, Amber. Nice try though. Right shape. 1 cheetah. 2 correct, but 1 not a cheetah. Who was that? Kathy. Hyena for number 1. Correct for number 2. Linda, nice try with the porcupine there. Sadly, not correct. Ah, Binky, right on the nose. You can get a bonus point if you can tell me which species for number 1. But I will accept the, you can get a point for it being correct family. Who crossed here? Oh, baboon. The Gowrie gang crossed here. John. Not serval or civet, but number 2 is right. Number 2 is right. And somebody was asking the difference between impala, male and female impala. So here's the impala. We haven't seen any impala properly today. Ginny saying hyena as well for 1. Nope, not hyena. And 2, you're very close, but not quite right. France, it was France asking about the impala. How do you tell the difference between male and female impala? It would be quite nice to show you an impala. And would you believe it, I found myself a bachelor group. This is the male impala, very easy. They have horns, females don't have horns. Oh, we got some swifts. Sarsaparilla. 1 hyena. Nope. And 2 spot on. Cheryl. We've got lots of swifts here. Amazing. 1 caracal. Nice try. 2 right. Very, very right. Oops, sorry. Binky, half a point. For number 1. Joe. Serval. Nope, not a serval. 2 is correct. Nice big bachelor group of boys. Okay, I'm thinking those tracks are pretty fresh. So I think let's go and see if the Gary gang is still on the Finland's Cup or Finland's dip. Couldn't see which swifts they were, but nice sickle-shaped wings, long tail, very characteristic of the swifts. A little bit too small for a hyena. Remember, hyenas are going to be sort of this sort of size. Quite a small track number 1. And remember, you've got to be truthful. You've got to be truthful. Morning. So, track 2, I think everyone was pretty happy with that one. Our little barber, I wanted to show you. Track 2, as I say, across the world you have relatives everywhere. Was the scrub hare. When he was sitting, and that's why he had such a long track, because it's those back feet. Remember, when they run on the very tips of the toes, but when they're sitting, they sit all on that back foot. So sitting, and you could actually see the 2 marks in the sand where the front paws were as well. And the one running, remember when a hare runs, the front feet, so they just in front of each other, and then the back feet come over the top, and they are directly opposite each other, so you get that funny looking track, and that gives you the direction as well. Think how a hare runs. So if you got hare, you can give yourself a mark. Scrub hare. Reason why rabbits I won't accept, we don't have rabbits here. Sorry. Jerry, spot on. So, Jean, sorry. Oh, Jean, yeah, Jerry got it right, and Jean, jackal, not a jackal, and impala for the second track. Nope, not impala. Amber, wildcat, getting the second one right, scrub hare. Ooh, that'd have been nice. Who was that? Was that Rita? Teresa, wild dog. Sadly not. You're looking for a larger track. And scrub hare for the second track. Ginny, scrub hare for the second one. And First one, what was the first one? Wild dog. So wild dog. Nope. Not wild dog. Michelle. Where did the Gary gang go? Michelle also saying wild dog. Nope, wild dog, you're looking for a much bigger trap. I can see where you're coming from, because remember wild dog will show the claws. Cheetah also will show the claws. That's where they're coming from with the claws. Elizabeth. Crayfish. Brilliant. Teresa, Janet. Teresa, you're getting close, hey? You're getting close. Janet. Again, I can see where you're coming from. Janet is a little bit smaller. Fits into the thumb, so it will be maybe about a centimetre and a half. Gary gang of gone straight. I'm going to be going past the little girl again. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. We'll say goodbye to the little girl. To see how the Gary gang took to the little female. Looks like they did carry on down here. Maybe they didn't see her. Oh, they're in the trees! They did see her. Shame! I can see you! Let's go in here. Let's just see. Yeah. Shame. In fact, the Gary gang are probably going to be a little bit more dangerous to the little female cub than what she can be to them. But I wonder. They're not barking. Maybe they didn't see them. So, should I put everybody out of their misery? What was track number 1? I think there's been 2 people so far coming back with the right type of animal, 1 person with the right species. Randy with a fox. Linda, honey badger? Nope. John, penguin. Karen, well done Karen. Get 1 point. Linda, canine of sorts and scrub hair. Well done Linda on the scrub hair, but not a canine. Rosie. Janet. Oh, so it must have been a different Rosie earlier. Saying a Janet or African wildcat. Nope. Shall I show you who it was? Linda Serval. Nope, not a show. I wonder if she's gone into hiding. But they're not calling. You see, he's looking. Okay, we can have a quick drive around and see where she is. That looks like Gordy to me. Gordy, where's the rest of the troop, eh? Maybe they're a bit... Oh, I can hear them. I think they're just in the bush here. So she might have just kept low and just out of sight. So, just before we say goodbye, is it Elizabeth? Right answer. 1 point. It was a white-tailed mongoose. So if you get mongoose, then you get a point. If you get white-tailed mongoose, then you get 2 points. So here we are, white-tailed mongoose. And what we were seeing, you can see the little slant on the track. So it slants this way. So this was the back pad. And so you could see that slant really nicely, especially on that second track. The toes and even the claws. The claws, this part is about 4 centimeters, which is what I was showing you. With the claws, it's probably about a 5 centimeter track. There you go, white-tailed mongoose is what it was. And then the front track is this one, the back track is the square. You can see that really nicely. And if I show you quickly, just to show you about the scrub hare running. So this is the front 2 paws, like I say, they run one in front of the other, and then the back paws come right over the top of them. And that's the direction. So there you go. So well done to everybody getting it right. Let's have a quick look around this termite mound. Say, just before we do say goodbye, I just want to see if I think maybe she just lay low. Because those canines on the baboons and the strength could do her a lot of harm, but she does have teeth and claws of her own, and she could be quite a little spitfire if she wanted to be. Might have gone into hiding. Can't see her on top of the mound there, but as I say, she might just have been hiding, might even be in the tree. She may have gone for cover elsewhere. She'll have to come back and check a little bit later. See if we can relocate her again. It sounds like the rest of the troop are heading off that way. But as I say, I'm sure she's kept out of trouble. She seems to be pretty streetwise like her mother. Let's get back onto the road here. Thank you very much for joining us here this morning. I hope you've enjoyed it. A bit of off-roading is always fun, and hopefully we can try and find those lions this afternoon. Once it cools down a little bit, they should start moving around again. So I think they have found themselves somewhere sheltered spot, enjoy the sun, and maybe just moved into the bushes. It could be what Seb saw, but unfortunately we couldn't get in there. But I hope you enjoyed seeing the little female as well, and giraffes. And hopefully we might even be able to catch up with the little male too. But thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the quiz, and there'll be more this afternoon. But wherever you are in the world, take care, and we'll see you again here on Wild Earth. Bye for now.